And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition here of the SEL, the StarCraft Evolution League Season 2 Last Chance Qualifier number 1. I'm of course your VIP, with me I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome one and all to something a little bit different here. Welcome to StarCraft Evolution. It's that time of the week, papi. It is that time. We're here, we are back, and we're here to cover some of these qualifiers. Again, of course, last week we were able to cover all of the StarCraft Evolution Masters PTR events, but now we're here to cover the Last Chance Qualifiers. These are the Last Chance Qualifiers to actually make it through and to advance on into that main event, into the StarCraft Evolution League Championship, which will be taking place in around 2 months time. Is going to be right around the corner. So again, we are here to indulge in some SC Evo. For those that may be shooting for the first time, StarCraft Evolution is a mod that does blend together Brood War and StarCraft 2. It does pit them against each other, and of course, exciting news is that now I believe the latest versions are able to be going live. I'm sure amendments are going to be made. I mentioned it last time, but we are going to be going over the PTR notes after this. I should say next week or in 2 weeks time. It's going to be a while, but we will be catching up on those. Again, last night we were just a little bit strapped for time in regards to covering and jumping into OSC King of the Hill and casting OSC King of the Hill. It was a long broadcast, man. Yeah. It was long, it was intense, but regardless, we are now getting into our fresh best of 3. Up first, we have Taeja versus Gerald. Once again, it's great to see that Taeja, he's competing more and more often in the StarCraft Evolution League. Again, he has been competing a little bit more here and there, playing a little bit more, taking part. He took part in the King of the Hill, of course. He took part in the SEL Masters. Now he is here for the Last Chance Qualifiers as well, for an opportunity to be a part of the main championship as well. For now, though, we're jumping into Game 1. Game 1 is going to be on Pylon. Here we go. What is StarCraft Evolution? True. Avex doesn't know. You've been gone for years, man. You've been gone for years. Also, don't apologize if my camera wasn't showing properly. But here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Pylon, we have the Polish Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is Gerald. En un momento. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Terran player, the long retired Terran. Now he's back. He has returned, the brutal Terran himself. It is Taeja. Here we go. Just catching him. I believe he will not be around for much longer. Oh, Ocean Explosion. No, not like this. Are you referring to Taeja? Are you referring to Taeja? He's only going to be around for a limited time. I see. I believe when he receives news of passing his civil service exam. Oh, there you go. So we gotta appreciate him while we can, papi. While we can. Let's go. For the time being, though, we are going to be setting up. We are going to be setting up here on the low ground. Okay, Taeja here with the low ground racks. From here, you can go into a second rack, so you can look to wall up and wall off. We'll see what kind of opener he does indulge in. Again, we have what I appreciate the most out of players like so far, Taeja and Dice, is that they have been mixing up their openers and have been showing us at least builds that we have yet to really see too much of. Again, like when it comes to TvP, when it comes to matchup, we are so used to seeing 3-rack stim, we're so used to seeing double factory into mass vulture, but our players have been exploring a little bit more as of late, which I do appreciate. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. Maybe this is just going to turn into something like a 3-racks. Regardless, true. We'll get there. I'm sure we'll get there at some point in the broadcast. Don't you worry. Until then, to have Gerald scoring for his own standard opener. Gerald, I feel like he's been playing a little bit less StarCraft Evolution as of late. I mean, that's most likely because he has been focusing a little more on StarCraft 2, especially with the FEL Championship, with the offline event happening in Krakow, with the Polish Championship as well. So Gerald has been hyper-fixated on StarCraft 2, but great to see every now and then he's able to dip his toes in and compete in a StarCraft Evolution League event every now and then. Of course, nowadays he's also focusing on organizing and running that big offline tournament as well. It's been really big news for Gerald, and it's been really really cool to see him taking another role here when it comes to StarCraft, not just competing, but also tournament organizing and even production-wise as well. For those that remember, Gerald, he did speak on how he was also kind of like working on quote-unquote directing. It's 2 Factory, Mass Ultra, by the way. God damn it. But he spoke about how he was focusing on directing streams as well regarding the EWC broadcasts from the Polish side of things, or sometimes from the international side of things as well. That is most likely also going to be a factor coming into this year's Esports World Cup. So Gerald working behind the scenes, Ziggy working behind the scenes. So really cool to see that, again, taking on a different role. Meanwhile, behind this, we do show up the first factory, but we hide the second factory further back in the main. So double factory looks to be Massive Ultra. Did mention that this is one of the more popular, one of the more standard build that we do see quite often, so I think we might see something a little bit different here, but for now that looks like what we're indulging in as we're going for the factory into tank first, rushing into siege mode. Okay, you have my attention. Rushing into siege mode, not rushing into mines, not rushing into iron thrusters. We have the earlier tank here to hold and to defend the natural. So far Stalker's getting some free damage. They pick up the first depot, now going for the other, and more Stalkers rocking up, more depots going down. Oh, picking away at the SCVs, the tank has arrived, and with that we should be able to hold on here as the depot is getting quite low. And depot is getting low. Stalker's going to be zoned away, and Taeja is holding 3 more seconds. Siege mode will be done, and with that he can hold on. Behind this, now we're getting to spider mines. We do have a second tank on the way just to be safe, a third tank as well. Again, Taeja just securing himself. Meanwhile, Gerald's back at home, taking up into his own Twilight Council into Robo. So far, 3-gate Bling at Twilight Council into Robo. What is this, SE2? This is a very standard, very safe way of opening up here. Gerald now claiming his third base on the right-hand side is going for, again, a very standard opener. With this, he'll have Stalkers to defend. He'll have access to Observers if need be, access to Immortals if need be as well. And we'll see how Taeja does open up. Behind this, now working towards all the Vulture upgrades. Iron Thrusters, we have Spider Mines on the way as well. The initial tanks, they will defend, they will hold on to the natural. And we'll see if Gerald can find a way in. As a reminder, he has the option to go into a prison, but again, he already took a third base, so he's not going to commit on 2 bases that much harder. There we go, now have the 4th gateways on the way. 4th and 5th. Building up into Mass Bling Stalker. Checking the vision, Gerald, he's not fully aware of what's going on. He has yet to scout the main base, so he's working a little bit in the dark. It is a little more standard, instead of going for extra gateways, to go for a forge, to go for charge into +1, into a more heavy gateway composition. And I would advise that as well, especially going up against mech, but Gerald is unaware as Vultures have now arrived. Ooh, when they get into the middle lines, Gerald's out of position, going across the map, Probe's going to be going down, and there we go, he's forced to recall. Forced to recall back home, and nice damage. Nice damage here out of Taeja, catching out 5 workers. So 5 probes do go down. Behind this, Taeja investing into more upgrades, getting to +1 vehicle weapons. Getting to +1. Just clearing up all the mines, securing his third. Now working towards Zone Forge, working towards +1. I spoke earlier about Charge, how that's a standard follow-up. It's possible we might have forgotten that. As slow lots are going to be warped in. Vultures, they bust into the bases. And Gerald, he's trying to keep up. And trying to keep up. 3, 4, 5 probes going down. Brutal damage. Will finally shut this down. And again, we're expecting those upgrades here out of Gerald. Once again, nice damage here across the map. Meanwhile, in total, 14 probe kills. And yeah, as we mentioned, Gerald, he was banking up resources for quite some time, but there we go. Now we have Charge only, now +1 on the way. It's going to be a little bit more delayed here from the side of Gerald. Did go for the earlier gateway explosion. So far, Gerald trying to secure himself. It has been nice economic damage so far. Taeja getting a third base, building up, getting into a longer mid-game. Gaining access to Goliaths. Heavily securing himself. He is done with Vulture production. That's a lot. Jeez, that's a lot of tanks. Oh my god. Just building up his tank counts. Slowly expanding. Taking a bit of a slower approach here to pylon. Speaking of slow approach. Takes down the gas. So the gas guys are again attempting to delay the third base. Does get punished for it. Gerald going to be forced further back. Again, charge is still not yet done. Engaging into this tank line is not going to be easy. Not going to be possible even. No, without those charge lots. And even then, I don't think it's wise to push into this kind of setup here. We have spider mines. We have more siege lines. We have a lot of tanks. Taeja looking very secure. Prism is deflected in the main. And we're going for the Stargates. We might from here just be going into Sky Toss. At the same time, Gerald, nothing to defend back at home. He's getting caught out. Oh, never mind. Just shut down those vultures. I think just force some friendly fire. Let's go. Prism does find a way into the main. Hoping get some charge lots. Spider-Man, nice control here by Gerald. It does save the Zealots. Stalk is in between the bases, catching up more of these vultures, and there are no tanks here at the natural. There is an opening. It is a bit of an opening, but the Stalks are so low. Yeah, they're so incredibly low at this point. Gerald bleeding out so much supply. Zealots are cleaned up. Doesn't get much damage done. Gerald now securing his fourth base. Again, he has lost a lot. Now he's being forced further back. He's being forced further back. We do have the fleet beacon on the way. Again, head towards Skytos. Vultures identify once again. Getting a handful of workers. Yo, this time we have defensive cannons, okay? Cannons are getting set up. And we could be here for a while. I feel like a lot of this will depend on when Taeja moves out. Like Taeja, again, his tank count is quite high, is looking quite secure. If given time, Gerald, he will eventually get into Tempest, eventually get into Skytos, or at least just a mothership. But he's working in that direction. Especially against mech is going to be necessary. Soldiers ate the bases once again. Yeah, collapsing on the Immortal. The Spider Mines, they will collapse in. Oh, at least trying to. Okay, that could have been so much worse. I think something that catches me off guard every time is just the shorter range here of the Spider Mines. So thankfully, Gerald, he does hold on. Thankfully, he holds, he defends. And now here comes the move out. This is what we were waiting for. The mass sun siege out of Taeja. How many tanks? 13. 13 tanks, 18 vultures. He's got a science also behind this, and now it's time to move out. And especially on Pylon, the rush distance by ground is so short. He's already across the map. He's already here. And there's no stopping this. Yeah, he's already getting within range of the expansion. And Gerald's out of position. He cannot push in. He's going to try. Oh, God, he's going to try it. The tank volleys are brutal. Nice target firing on the Stalkers, and Gerald will lose everything. Yeah, the Gateway Army crumbles. And again, it was just a really shaky start out of Gerald. He bled out so many workers in the process, delayed his own tech. GG gets called, and Taeja takes game number 1. GG. A solid game there at Taeja. And again, you can see just how much... you can see how much the map does influence things as well. Again, it doesn't take long for the army to move out. So Gerald, he could not engage ahead of time, or he wasn't able to engage ahead of time, wasn't able to slow down the army. And once he got across, that's GG. GG well played. With that amount of tanks siege up, there was no answer, not anymore from Gerald. And with that, Taeja takes a lead. Does take a lead in the series, and now we're going to be loading into game number 2, going to be loading into Sylphid. Oh boy. But again, a solid game out of Taeja. And we'll see if Gerald can recover and bounce back. As spawning in the right hand corner, we have our Polish Protoss player. We have the Red Protoss representing Streamer Zone. This time, rocking Brood War Protoss himself. It is a Gerald. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the SE2 Terran player. We have the Korean Terran. It is Taeja. Leading the series 1-0. Here we go. See someone asking in chat, how come they have those StarCraft 1 moving fast moving cars? If you're referring to the Vulture, this is not regular StarCraft 2. This is a mod. This is StarCraft Evolution. This is a mod that does bring together Brood War and SE2 and does pit them against each other in a 1v1 tournament format. That's why you do see different units here. That's why this is StarCraft 2 Terran this time. But Gerald, he's playing Brood War Protoss, so he will not have access to Stalkers. He'll have Zealots, but different kinds of Zealots. He will have Dragoons, of course. He'll have Corsairs, Scouts. We'll see how he does open up. It is very standard to go for a Reaver-based opener and go for Reaver drops. But again, we'll see how Gerald does explore things. We'll see how he does indulge. We'll see if he does go for something more standard or something more exploratory instead. I feel like some of the two common openers we have in this matchup are either Reaver-based openers or fast Zealot legs. Classic has been quite fond of that, if you recall, going into a faster Citadel, into Zealot legs, into a very gateway-heavy composition to be aggressive across the map. But we'll see what Gerald goes for. For now, welcome to Sylphid. Sylphid is a 3-player spawn map. You can spawn in top side, left side, and right side. So you can see Gerald scouting bottom right, and so is Taeja. They're both scouting in the same direction, and they'll both find that they haven't found each other, and they can deduce, of course, the location of the other. Of their opponents. Gerald pokes in. So does Taeja. Thanks. Can we also play the mod? Yeah, the mod is on Battle.net. It's in the arcade. There's a version of the mod in every region. As a heads up, of course, I believe there is a beta version of the latter. I believe it's still in beta, like it's still in the works, but I believe that is accessible to you if you wish. Otherwise, you will just have to host custom lobbies, and find people to play against, to compete against. But yes, is available on the arcade. Gerald will zone away. We'll zone behind this, getting into a zone Dragoon range. So far, just a Dragoon-based opener. So far, so good. Gerald does set up a proxy pylon across the map, and we'll see if he does make use of it. This can, of course, help scout the main attack path. So he's moving out. Once again, hoping to get some damage here at the natural. And we'll see if we get into something a little bit different. As so far we have a 1-1-1 out of Taeja. Okay. Does open 1-1-1. Earlier Cyclone, just for defense. From here we can go for drop play. From here we can go into Widow Mines. We can go into Hellions. Actually going straight into an earlier tank. Very early tank here out of Taeja. Cyclone does lock on. Zoning back to Dragoons. Dragoon range is still on the way. And behind this, actually not going for the Robo, not going for the Bay, but is instead going for the Citadel. Okay. I mean, we mentioned earlier at the start of this game how we do often see two common builds, either getting into Reaver drops or getting into fast Zealot legs, and it looks like the Zealot legs are going to be the answer here, going into a gateway-heavy composition. Working towards that Citadel. Likewise, 1-1-1, not just tank, but tank Banshee here out of Taeja. Can't get out of hand. Cyclone locking on. Does lock on. Bunker taking a lot of hits. Marines are going to be exposed. And so far, nice damage. Denying mining time, forcing the repairs. Hasn't lost any Dragoons yet. Has been able to break those lock-ons. No major damage. But every little bit does add up. Oh, meanwhile, the tank does get caught here. Does get caught in the cocoon. Tank slowly breaks out. Oof. And it does break out. Taeja is secure. And I'm a little bit concerned here about the lack of detection. You'd have to jump through some hoops here, and there we go. We have the observatory on the way. First Banshee will now hit the natural. We'll hit the main. And there's not much in position. Unfortunately, we have a wave of Zealots in production, not a wave of Dragoons. Banshee does hit the main base. Gerald, he's racing back home. Remember, there's no recall. And this is getting a bit out of hand. 3, 4, 5 probe kills. 5 probes in the main. So leg's almost done. No, Gerald with the intercept. Let's go. Up. Gets a couple of volleys off. Observer has arrived. And the Banshee looks like may just barely go down. One more shot. Uno más, papi, uno más. Up. Oh my god. Does take it down. Nicely done. And looks like we are setting up a buyer. Yeah, we're getting into a buyer tank setup. Third CC is on the way. Likewise, Gerald claiming his own third and now working towards his own Reavers as well. Didn't rush into a Reaver drop or anything of the sort, but that is going to be a splash damage of choice. As Taeja is set up back at home. He is set up, he is secure, he is expanding. And despite going into mech in game 1, here is embracing fire. Throwing down more Raxes. Just setting up. So the Banshee does hit the mineral line. Once again, 5 more dead workers. Again, harassment here can be brutal in this matchup. Just to wind it back, but again, for those that maybe haven't seen the mod before, but there's no warp-in mechanic, right? So there's no reactive warp-ins, there's no recall. So moments like this can be brutal as he takes down the Reaver. Reaver goes down, more probe kills as well. Unfortunately, the side defense is a little bit too late. The cannons are finishing up, but by the time they do, already 12 worker kills. 12 workers and the Reaver. And he's still not done. He's still not quite done. Yeah, 15, 16 probes going down. This one Banshee may have just won Taeja the game, by the way. That is critical damage. For the one Banshee to get a full mineral line. Meanwhile, speaking of, another Banshee does hit the main. And Gerald, he just cannot keep up, or he just didn't have units in position. Gerald, for those who are curious, he was across the map. He was trying to contain his opponent. He was trying to delay the third base, but he gets punished for it. As he's trying to rotate back and forth. Trying. Oh, looks like there was a bit of a pause. Taeja now expanding, now claiming his own third base. Behind this just building up, and again, Taeja does have a very comfortable lead at this point. He's ahead economically, likewise is building up a greater army. There's still a chance here for Gerald. Thankfully, he does have some Reavers, so with some well-placed Reaver shots, he can still take a fight, but there's going to be a lot riding on his Reavers, and also a lot riding on engaging outside of range of the tanks, or getting a surround. Getting a run by going. For the time being, Taeja's looking very secure as he's just turtling up. The Banshees are still not done. They're still not done, but yeah. This also emphasizes the importance of site defense for Brutal Protoss. Cannons, shield batteries, leaving supply back at home as well. And we try to emphasize that like map awareness and map control is even more important for the brutal races, and site defense as well. Just to help in these kind of situations, just to buy time. So still getting more economic damage. As Gerald does rotate, the tank line not quite in position. Does not force his way through. And this going for a second robo. Claiming more expansions. Scout shots going off. Oh! Ooh, nice connections. Does connect well. And Taeja, the splits are not there. And this is what we spoke about. Like, this is where Gerald can recover, where he can make up for his earlier losses. Gerald is still behind. Like, this is a nice start, but he still needs more. He still needs more. as Taeja moves out. She does move out across the map. Ooh, does catch a shuttle. Shuttle goes down. Reavers are massing. Another Reaver under fire. Getting quite low. No, they're so slow. And remember, the shuttle went down. So limited control here for the Reavers. They're going to be targeted down. Gets one. There's 4 Reavers left. Only 3 with Scarabs. Same Army Marines, they do peel up. They head into the mineral line. Gerald not quite in position. Getting caught out in the open. Yeah, the Reavers having a hard time keeping up with the rotations, and Dragoons are falling. Gerald just getting pulled apart. Tanks a little bit late to siege. A little bit late. Tanks are going down. But so is the rest of the army. Yeah, so is the rest of the army here. Taeja is stimming on forward. Dragoons on their own. They're so vulnerable. Reavers as well. The one cloak Banshee. Aye. Unfortunately, no detection. The Banshee just getting free damage. Takes down another Reaver. Down to 2. Yeah, 2 Reavers remaining. Hey, just stimming in. I mean, the army's just zoned away by the Banshee. Scarab's trying to go up. Get some okay connections, but nah, we're just gonna target them down. Yeah, it does target them down, and Taeja, he has done it. He has broken the back of Gerald. Again, the Banshee harass was just brutal, and GG gets called. Taeja will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the quarterfinals. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Taeja, as he does claim the series. Again, winding it back here, as a reminder, we had one Banshee that got 16 probes. He got 16 probes and a Reaver. Like, the Banshee harass was brutal time and time again. Gerald, he was just punished for being too active on the map, punished for not having units in position, and punished for just not being ready back at home. And as we pointed out, like, if you're out of position, if you don't have that defensive setup, then it can be difficult to keep up, whether it's with Banshee harass, whether it's with other key units like Raven harass, drop play as well. It can excel here in this matchup, and with that, GG. GG well played. Taeja will claim the series and will advance on into the quarterfinals, where he will have his next opponents. Up next, we do have a TvT, I believe, a Terran versus Terran. I know that Taeja has been playing a lot with Protoss as of late, at least Brutal Protoss, but we're getting into Taeja versus Dai.